whenever we think something, do something, that is from our brain, right? So cognition is basically cogniting the neurons, brain cells. So suppose some thought comes or we do something, so brain cells, those neurons are cognited. So that is basically cognition. So that is why the word recognition comes from there. So cognition means when new neural pathways are built, when neurons make connections together, and then new synaptic connections, new neural pathways are built, and learning, and these things are there in all of us. So that is cognitive abilities. So what cognitive abilities we are working on through Brighter Minds? How to improve concentration in children. Once concentration improves, they become better at everything because their efficiency of doing things, their productivity becomes better. So whether they are studying or they are in sports or they are talking to someone, listening is important, because unless we listen, we won't be able to understand. So that also requires concentration, focus. So how to improve concentration so that comprehension in children and youth and teens and adults is improved. So Brighter Minds has programs for all age groups. From 5 till 85 we have programs. So first direction is how to improve concentration, understanding, comprehension in children and people. And then second is how to make them emotionally resilient, how to make you more emotionally stronger no matter what happens, what the circumstances are, but we should be able to address every situation. That is the second aspect, second goal of Brighter Minds. That's why we are working on these abilities. Third is how to improve decision making capability. That is where this role of food comes. You would be thinking why Brighter Minds is inviting for food, discussion on food. Because food is very important part when it comes to brain's health. When it comes to your health, it's important. But it comes to brain health, it is important. Because food is directly related to brain, how it works on concentration. Avanti ji would be talking more on it. So how to improve decision making capability in children, how to improve intuition in people, and then also how to work on their problem solving ability, creative abilities. So we are working through our joyful and fun filled programs, we are working on these abilities, and that is why we are really excited to have Avanti ji here, because we are going to discuss something which is of importance not only to children but for parents as well, because cognitive health, brain's health is important for everyone. For elderly people, it's very important. One of the main reasons is this, nowadays we all have this in our hand, our lifestyles, how it is. So one thing which is in our hand is this food. So Rama ma'am, I would request you to please introduce Avanti ji.
Sure, Surbhi ma'am. It's an honor and a pleasure to introduce dear Avanti, a girl from a city. I must say that a very well-known, renowned personality. Today we have got it to interact and to educate all the parents community. So Avanti basically comes from a Pune city itself, and she is been really a well-known personality. She's a clinical nutritionist, author, speaker, and entrepreneur. So I'm really, really proud of her. And she has been ranked amongst the 10 nutritionists in India. Secondly, she's been a Women Achiever Award winner for Pune 2020. And Avanti has worked really minutely, I must say that. She believes that nutrition should be a lifestyle change rather than a diet fad. So this is very, very important. And as an author of the recently she has launched a recipe book which says Learn the Art to Eat. And Smart, and the founder of eStore, where she provides amazing healthy food products. I have used her products, and Avanti keeps the diet very, very simple, easy to follow, uses locally grown ingredients, and her motto is moderation is the key to success. So in this beautiful world of children, we are really excited to hear her views, and I'm sure parent community as well as all the members who are attending this session, and in future whoever will be attending through the Google, the YouTube and all, will definitely get benefited. And last but not the least, I really appreciate her website, which she keeps updated, and her blog writing style is amazing, amazing. So we are really blessed, as a community, Avanti, to have you over here. And let's hear from her. Yeah, over to Avanti. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Nama ma'am.
Yeah, Avanti ji, warm welcome. And I know you have a lot to share and you are so passionate about the topic that you can keep speaking on it. But what I would request you to, share just to start with, what is the relation between cognitive health and food? What is your opinion on it?
Okay, sure. So Surbhi ma'am, the way you mentioned about, cognitive health and cognition is basically when we talk about activation of the neurons so that, you're alert, your mental, where you want to have that kind of a concentration, it should be there very much and should not be disturbed. Now, what is happening is in today's world, it is getting very difficult to focus thanks to the different forms of social media that are available. But children have their own way of, assimilating, gathering information, and they are sharp. That is also I would add on to that. Now, why food plays a major role in cognitive health? 20% of the day's calories are required for your mental, for your brain health. Meaning what? It's a major chunk. Now, 20% is a major chunk of the day's calorie requirement. Okay, so your brain is going to require a lot of energy. It is seen like, during exam days or, days when you are very busy mentally, you actually feel more hungry end of the day. You feel more exhausted when you're mentally working on a lot of things rather than being physically active. So that is an indication which shows that, your mind, your brain is going to require a lot of energy. Energy coming from the carbohydrates, coming from protein and fats, and the absorption of, or, the conversion of energy from carbs, protein and fat has to happen with the help of B-complex vitamins, various hormone systems, various enzyme systems. So all these have to be pretty much in place. Now, once for the brain functioning, the most important nutrients are the omega-3 fatty acids, okay? Then iron, folate, B-complex vitamins and choline. So these are very, very essential nutrients. If you want, I can just give you examples of, what are the food sources that you could possibly look into, because talking nutrients and then actually converting them to the food ingredients is much relatable than just speaking about nutrients. So, omega-3 rich fatty acids are something which are not available, cannot be made by the body, and they have to be given through the food sources itself. So omega-3 fatty acids primarily come from the non-vegetarian sources, like the fish is the major source of omega-3 fatty acids. But having said that, vegetarian sources also have an opportunity to get converted into, actively available sources in the body. And these come from the seeds that are present, like the flax seeds, melon seeds, pumpkin seeds, coming from nuts like almonds and walnuts. So you need to make it a point to consume at least a fistful of nuts and seeds in the day, not just 2-3 almonds. Jaise bolte, like for having better brain health, you eat almonds, but how many almonds is also important. Generally, we consider consuming about 20 grams of all these nuts and seeds put together. That is what we call as one serving. Apart from this, if you are a non-vegetarian, then stress more on eating fish rather than eating, chicken as a source of protein, because fish is going to give you omega-3 rich fatty acids. Now, the other sources which help for brain health is your iron. Now, iron, of course, we all know that if the iron levels start depleting from the body, you will not have enough of energy to focus. You'll start feeling very tired. You start feeling sleepy. You experience fatigue, because iron, iron is a part of hemoglobin. We all know that. And hemoglobin is something which transports oxygen throughout the body. So if iron is less in the body, or iron is not given to the body enough, then we are going to be depleted of oxygen, and a lot of bodily systems are going to be affected. And one of them is feeling exhausted and tired. So, end of the day, if the child is feeling exhausted, tired, probably you could get the hemoglobin levels checked, and they can be easily corrected via food itself. So that is a very easy correction, because dark green leafy vegetables contain it. Sprouts and legumes that you consume contain it. Egg, fish, meat and poultry also contain it. So then you get it from all these sources. Then is zinc. Of course, zinc is present in a lot of legumes and pulses. It is also present in mushrooms. Now, iodine is present in the iodized salt that you consume. That is why we insist on the government of India has also insisted that you have the salt iodized, so that automatically you will get iodine from there. If not, kelp is something which is a supplement which is available these days, but I would say iodized salt is enough source to give you the iodine requirement for the day. And finally, what is very important is the B complex. B complex is a water soluble vitamin and easily available in most of the foods that we consume. Like you have like B1, B2, B3, you even have B6, B12. So different food sources have got these different nutrients that are present in there. Like you'll find it in the pulses, in the legumes, you'll find it in the cereals like roti, chawal, probably oats that you consume, millets that you consume. Apart from that, even the milk and milk products. So, different B complex are present in different sources. So when I'm talking about all this together, I'm insisting that a well-balanced diet is something which is going to just give you everything. And then, I think there's a disturbance.
Yeah, I'll mute. I request everyone to please mute yourself, because otherwise it will not be very audible.
Okay, so having said that, you don't really have to keep on counting everything, but you see that once you balance your diet, once you're including all the food sources, automatically you're going to get these nutrients. So 20% of the calories coming in, requiring for the brain health, automatically coming in from the different food sources that you're consuming.
So Avanti ji, what I would say, because you are an expert, you have everything on your tips. But can I request parents to write down what they understood from this discussion? What important things she shared? If you just recollected, you can write in short form. Like first thing, what she suggested. If you remember, you can write. Or I would request Avanti ji also to write in the chat, so that you will have that pointers to read.
Sure. So I have got my small notes prepared. So automatically, you are going to get what is required. Okay, just
they know omega-3 fatty acids, so they remember. Everyone remembers.
Okay. Yeah, that's the most important one. Yes. That is the most important one.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just putting it in the chat here. Yeah. So anybody who wants to read?
Yeah, somebody has written zinc and iron also.
Zinc, iron.
Yeah.
Yes. So great. So now
so the major part I've already put there. And then if you want to look up for sources of these particular nutrients, I think you will get everything on Google. It's available, widely available everywhere.
So here I would take this opportunity to share with you that Avanti ji has her own YouTube channel, and I would share details of her channel. We are also running from Brighter Minds one channel that we will share with you. In fact, I can share with you right away. And for Avanti ji, I am going to share every detail with you for sure, so that you can just watch what she's talking, because I have seen her YouTube videos and I was quite impressed, and I also started implementing for my son. That's why he was very excited to know. So I can share YouTube subscription link. You can subscribe. I can also write down our numbers, so that you can directly reach out to us in case of anything. And if Avanti ji would be okay, I would be glad to share her number also with you in case.
Sure. Why not? Surely you can share it.
So I have shared a YouTube link that you can subscribe. And also we have created a community of parents, a WhatsApp group of parents, so that you can post your queries there, so that we also can post things there. So you can join this community of parents. I have shared this WhatsApp group link with you in the chat box that you can join. I would also share our LinkedIn so that you can follow, and we keep on sharing things there. And with due permission from Avanti ji, maybe I can post few of her videos also.
Surely.
Related.
Really helpful to the parents community, because what we eat, we are. Right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
After every 35 days, I believe, Avanti, correct me if I'm wrong, that the changes keep happening in our skin, as well as entire cells get formulated. So what we eat, the effects you get to see within 35 days of eating, right?
Yes.
So Surabhi ma'am, I want to ask one question to Avanti ji. Can I? Yes. Okay, so basically I wanted to know, because in school we see that nowadays many of the children are suffering with this obesity, right?
Yes.
And do you feel that does it has any impact on the cognitive health of the children? And if that is, then how can we avoid it? So something which we would
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, obesity is, I think, really growing amongst children and more happening in the urban population than in the rural population. The reasons are pretty obvious. It is more of sedentary lifestyle. More, the children like to sit rather than like to run around. Physical activity is getting a challenge every day for children. I remember when we used to be just running around. Probably that was not a serious issue then than it is now. To add on to that is the media exposure that the children have. And it is known that the decision of buying food, especially the packets and the junk food at home, is the child's decision. So, when a child goes with the parent for purchasing, they are made very interesting. The packets are made very interesting, very colorful, so that more and more children end up picking up those packets. Now, this is the reality. You need to understand that. And that is why the obesity chances are increasing or the instances are increasing. But having said that, I also treat a lot of children who are aware, who want to come to me to take a diet plan, meaning apart, in all this noise, they are being able to recognize that, okay, I need a diet for myself because I want to improve my health. So as a parent, it becomes very important to inculcate this kind of a habit in children where they start getting more aware, like, okay, I want to start getting healthy. Now, where does this start? This starts from home itself and, in the community that they are, maybe probably the peer community that they are. At home, when they see that the parents are active, they are following a healthy lifestyle, they are, probably exercising every day. On the table, there will be probably a health food available, like fruits will be kept on the table. In the pantry, there will be always healthy snacks available. Then the children have to automatically pick up those things and eat. And then that becomes more of an habit. So finally, habit building, the children talk and, parents discuss is one thing, but the children observe and learn, that is even far more. I mean, you'll agree with me, Rama ma'am and Subhi ma'am, children observe. Children learn, they see what is happening around them. And if we as parents are able to, have these kind of habits built in us, then it's very easy to translate them amongst children. Now, having said that, it's very difficult to just keep on telling children, like, keep on eating healthy, keep on eating healthy. Now, as a smart parent, and I think as a smart school, what is the responsibility is try to convert this healthy food into something like, roti, sabzi, dal, chawal is the most typical way of consuming food. But what if we, they like burgers, they like eating pastas. What if they are converted in such a way that, it is a balanced meal? And see, we have, a balance. First, let me just explain what is a balanced meal so I can just give you better references. So a balanced meal is, given even by NIM recently. When you consider a plate as 100%, 25% should be the salad or, the raita, or that is a raw vegetable or fruits that you're consuming. 25% should be the cooked sabzis that you're consuming. 25% of your plate should be something which is a protein food, like dals, legumes, milk and milk products, or, if you consume non-vegetarian. And finally, 25% should be the carbs, that is the complex carb coming from your roti, chawal, millets probably. And then you need to take good fats in the form of ghee, in the form of nuts and seeds, and also taking a probiotic, very, very important. So when I was speaking about brain health, I'll just cover this one point. Brain health, your gut health, that is the microorganisms present in your large intestine, largely determine how you are going to function. So it is a known fact now that, if your gut is affected, you might, end up having anxiety, depression, confusion, and in the future, a problem like Alzheimer's could also be, because you are having an unhealthy gut. So you need to just add a probiotic in the diet. What is the best or the simplest form of probiotic is adding buttermilk or, adding dahi to your normal food. And then the fiber which is coming from the fruits and vegetables is the food for these microorganisms. So this is a balanced diet. That means it contains vegetable group, fruit group, protein group, carbohydrate group, and a fat group. So these are the 5 food groups. Very important. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. Now, if a child wants to eat something like, pasta. So you give a pasta, which is, you could make probably a whole wheat pasta. With that, you could add probably chicken to it. You could add tofu to it. You could probably add an egg to it. Along with that, add some vegetables to it, so it becomes a balanced diet. They get the protein from there, they get the carbs from there, they're getting the fiber coming in from the vegetables that you're adding, and then they will happily eat it, and you are also happy about it, because you have been able to just convert this healthy plate into something which is more of their liking, their choice, but it's still healthy. Of course, the children can enjoy junk food, but probably decide a day. Probably Sunday is the day when they eat the junk food. Physical activity is a must, and that should be incorporated in the daily routine as far as possible, so that they do not miss on that. So 80% of the time following mindful eating, and 20% of the time deviating from the normal diet that you consume. This is I think the secret to a healthy, and then the children are going to see a weight loss. It is going to happen.
So that's really amazing. I mean, because taste is something, healthy and tasty doesn't go together normally. But why I'm happy, because you are talking about it, how to make healthy food tasty. So our question that all of us want to know, is parents, especially mothers, they constantly seek healthier tiffin box options for their children. So if you can give some options, some examples how they can convert healthy food into tasty food. So sometimes parents will also be happy, children are also happy.
Yes. So, basically the idea of healthy tiffins is something which is spill proof. Okay. Basically the children do not have, maybe in some schools they do have space to sit and eat, but in a lot of schools they do not have space to sit and eat. It should be quick to eat, because they just do not like to spend time in eating. They want to eat quickly and go and play. So it should be something which is spill proof, easy to eat, quick to eat, handy to eat. So this is, supposed to be the way a packed lunch has to be. Now, whatever I was talking about, the 5 food groups always should be covered every time. Let me give you a few examples, okay? So if you're talking about breakfast items, upma poha is something, very commonly given to children. Let's give upma poha. Along with that, probably a handful of nuts added to that and a fruit. You're balancing out all the food groups put together, okay? Instead of giving aloo paratha, aim for giving a paneer paratha, and along with that, probably giving a sabzi or then a salad to go with that. That is a balanced meal, and they would love eating a paneer paratha. It is far more tastier than, eating this roti and sabzi. Then making a frankie, so you take a chapati, you put the choice of their pasta sauce onto it, put a lot of vegetables, fold it and give it, you will automatically be able to give in the carbs, the protein, whatever you want to give. Then giving pulao is a great option, where soya chunks could be added, paneer could be added, tofu could be added. If you eat non-vegetarian, probably egg could be added. Giving egg rolls is a good option, because you're giving a protein and a carb put together. Then, egg roll and a fruit would be a great choice, where they don't have to sit and eat. They just have to quickly eat it and then they are done with it. Then probably making sprouts cutlets. So even these sprout cutlets, or even, making rajma cutlets or falafel kind of a thing, can even go as burger patties. Instead of, those fried ones which we buy, or, the McCain ones which we buy. This can be very well made at home. They can be kept in the refrigerator. They can be taken out. They can be shallow fried, made into a cutlet or made into a burger form and given to the children. They would love to eat that. So these are the different ways that, you can make the food interesting. So probably alternate days you give something like this, which is fancy. Alternate days you give something like, a normal roti sabzi. Yes, and they'll also be happy.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because this 12 years the parents need to provide the tiffin to the children, the schools where they don't get the food. So it's a big task for mom. And
yes, it is.
I remember you had published one book for that, right? Healthy Kids Snacks and the tiffin options also.
So Avanti, I would take this opportunity over here. Can you please write the name of your book, and if you have some link you can share, so that if someone wants to have it, they can just.
Yes, so I'll just write the name of the
you
book
write name of the book,
Yeah.
and once they join the parents group, I will share the link in the parents group also, so that they will.
Okay, and this is available on Amazon. So Learn the Art to Eat Smart is the name of the book, and this is available on Amazon. So are my products, I have got a lot of products as well. And so are the products also which are available on Amazon. So Pan India we service. So, you could buy the products. So we've got a dal chila. So like parents, a lot of times they are busy in the morning. It's very difficult to really plan all the time. So that's why we have this dal chila mix, where, you just have to simply add water, You could make pancakes out of it. You could make, even appe out of it, and just give it to children. They will love to eat it as a snack for the breakfast time. So parents be khush and children also happy.
That's really very, very, and I like the ingredients which you are selecting for it are all, well tested, and all those things are also
Yes.
there. So that's very good.
And I would also request parents to write if they understood 5 different groups that they need to include in the diet in tasty way. So if you remember those 5 groups, can you please write 5? Just write 5 if you understood 5. And if not,
Surbhi ma'am, I'm just putting the names of these list of foods which I had combinations
yes,
which I had just talked about.
If
Let
you
me
can
just
do
put that for you.
Yes. So someone is asking how to join the group. So I'm sharing again, maybe you join a little later. So I will share all these 3 links again. To join WhatsApp group of parents, I have shared link just now. And for following LinkedIn, I am also sharing the link again. And for liking the YouTube channel, I am sharing the link again. And when you join the group of parents, I would also share Avanti Ji's link over there.
Yeah.
That is especially for food and nutrition. This
Yes.
Brighter Minds YouTube group is for cognitive health of your children, and Avanti Ji's YouTube channel is regarding food that I'll share with you later. So right now I have shared everything. Avanti Ji, I request you to please share those names if you have.
I've just shared those names of the recipes which can possibly, be combined to give a healthy tiffin.
Yes. So it's there in the chat box. You all can check the chat box. It's there.
Yeah, this is really going to help the parents community,
Yes.
because
Yes.
in today's world, knowledge is available at the tips, but the right tip you need it, right?
Yes.
And the authentic
Yes.
one. So that is very important, because there may be many people who must be putting it, posting it, but right kind of a thing to follow it is also very important. So we are really very fortunate that they are getting a good guidance as such, and
Yes.
which is going to be a lifelong effect, isn't it? Which is very, very
Yes.
So even I have one very important question, like being a nutritious and a dietitian, you know that very well. The children like sweet, a lot, and they want to consume a lot of sugar. I mean to say the sweet things. So do you feel that what should be like this excess sugar which they take it through sweets, through desserts and all that? Does it has any greater impact on their cognitive development?
Pretty much, a lot actually. This is a very good question that you asked, because sugars are in different forms. Then there'll be unrefined sugars, which is the khansari sugar, what we call, the raw sugar. Then we have jaggery, honey. Okay, so coconut sugar. I mean, now many sugars are coming up. And apart from this, you also have got something which is artificial sweeteners, which are even more harmful than the white processed sugar. Now it has been established. Okay, so that is in fact more harmful and causes diabetes more rather than the white sugar itself. So it is that harmful, and it has to be completely avoided. Now, how does sugar affect the cognitive health? First of all, high sugar impacts your brain. It causes inflammation. Okay. Now, what is inflammation? Inflammation is, your own body immune system start attacking you. Okay. Because it doesn't recognize that it is, basically your immune system comes into action whenever there is a situation of danger. And the body body has to be saved from somebody or maybe pathogens. Now, what is happening is there's a constant stress which is happening in children as well. Maybe there is a lot of study pressure is there. Maybe they're not sleeping well. Maybe the kind of food that they're consuming, there's a constant inflammation that is enhanced. And sugar is one of the major reasons why inflammation happens. Now, what is the fallout of inflammation? In the children, if there is inflammation, it will in future lead to problems like diabetes, PCOS, hypothyroidism and obesity is the first thing which you'll immediately start seeing. So, nowadays you see that young girls have started getting periods very, very early. That is one thing. And they are very irregular. And, very young girls, like, even at the age of 15, when they have just started their periods, we start seeing a condition which is known as PCOS. This is related to inflammation. So definitely, we do not want the body to be inflamed. So in order to reduce the inflammation, the refined sugar and the artificial sweeteners have to be completely removed out of the diet. Apart from this, sugars are known to have a poor attention. So a lot of researches have been published on this. Now what happens is, at home probably, you will be smart enough not to give children sugars. But when you buy products from outside, there will be a lot of hidden sugar sources which you don't even know about. High fructose corn syrup is one such sweetener which is added to the energy bars that these children consume. Okay, all right. And a lot of energy drinks also nowadays, a lot of teenagers especially, they consume. First of all, it is very, very high in caffeine. Even as adults, it hits us very hard. So you imagine that kind of an impact that is going to be created on a teenage brain when there is such a lot of hyperactivity happening. So the energy drinks is a big no-no, and I would request all the parents to strictly avoid all the energy drinks for children. Especially if I have to name a few, Red Bull is one, okay, which is an energy drink. Nowadays, I think even Thumbs Up has come up with some energy drink which is in this red colored bottle. Monster is one which is, again, another energy drink. And this creates a severe impact on, the cognitive health of the children because it makes them superly hyperactive. So, in the processed and the highly processed form is a big no-no. Now, does that mean that we completely avoid giving sweets to children? No, they can still enjoy having sweets, but then change this form of highly processed sugar to something which is, naturally processed. Like, probably you make nutrition bars out of khajur. You can make it out of honey. You can have granola, which is, coated with honey. You could even make homemade laddus, which is excellent source of energy for children. And in fact, I recommend that why not eat a laddu every day instead of going and picking this nutrition bars, which is having, so many ingredients, which as the list of ingredients increases on the packet, please keep away the packet because, that is where reading the label becomes very, very essential. So be more aware, be more vigilant, and try to read the label and see that you're avoiding processed sugar as far as you can.
Very, very important message because we see the impact in the schools also.
Yes.
And many a times we have to recommend the parents like you focus on the child's intake of sugar because children are nowadays, they by birth they have a high energy, right? But then excess sugar can really create a big damage. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful information.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Avanti ji. And I'm seeing that we have few questions.
Yeah.
And if Rama ma'am and you kindly permit, we can open the forum for a few more questions because parents will be willing to ask few things. So shall we start questions? Because
yeah, ma'am. It is very important because we'll get expert advice right now. So it's very important.
So as you rightly mentioned, ma'am, authentic and reliable information, that's very important. And we want our children, parents, grandparents, everyone to remain very healthy and cognitive way healthy because now thanks to this medical science, our life is going to be longer. It is there in the data. It's not my opinion. Data says that we all are going to live like 90 years or so. So it's important that you remain fit with your body, with your mind. It's very, very essential. So first question we are going to take from Amruta Sonar ji. She is asking, eating makhana or makhana kheer, is it good for kids?
Of course, 100% okay. As I was just mentioning, just ensure that you're sweetening it with jaggery and not sweetening it with sugar. And of course, give makhana kheer. It can be given. Makhana laddus are also an excellent choice.
Thank you for responding. And next question is from Shailesh ji. Can you put the name of the book in the chat that we have already done? and how can we join WhatsApp group. So I have shared the links with you. For YouTube subscription link I have shared, WhatsApp group link I have shared, and also LinkedIn. So you can follow LinkedIn, join WhatsApp with that group, the link, and also you can subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you keep getting those reels that we are regularly creating. So Avanti ji, 4 times in week we are sharing reels. Once in a week we are sharing long format video, and then once in a week we are creating these webinars, and more we are interacting one-on-one so parents can connect with us. And for nutrition we would request your help to them.
Surely.
If they need more help, I can also share your address and number as well. Okay, so next question is from Naomi Sunavane ji. She says, kindly share your views on milk. Which brand milk would you like to suggest for kids?
Actually, it depends upon which area you live. The thing is, like, there is a lot of debate on whether or not to give milk to children. But I am still of the opinion milk is a source of protein for children, and please continue giving milk to children. Unless you see that, nowadays you see a lot of diabetes in children also, a lot of lactose intolerance in children, then under doctor's recommendation, avoid it. Otherwise, there is no reason to avoid milk because it's still a great source of protein, especially dahi, curd, what we talk about. It's an excellent source of protein, a good source of calcium, a good source of probiotic. So do not stop giving milk completely. The brand of milk, I would say, okay, first choice would be, the organic one. But then, not everybody gets organic milk. And I'm not very sure whether you will be able to get, the kind of organic milk where you can trust the source that it's come from. If that is not the case, or if you know a proper source, then please go ahead and buy it from there. But you doubt the source, then just go ahead and buy your manufacturer's milk. And depending upon the area where you live, you can choose the brand of milk, whatever you want. And the big brand of Amul or something like these are big brands, and then they have got very strict norms which they have to follow. So generally they don't fall out. I mean, Indian norms are also strict, and if a packet is found adulterated, then the company can come in major danger. That's why these big brands do not take chances.
Thank you, Avanti ji. Next question is from Dheeraj Chabra ji. He is asking, what is the alternative of toast taken with tea? Because toast contains too much sugar, what do you suggest to take with tea or milk?
So, if it's for children, I think tea can be avoided completely. If it's for adults, then what you could do is, you could pair it with makhanas, you could pair it with khakras, you could also pair it with probably a roll of chapati with, ghee and jaggery put into it. Goes excellent with tea. But one thing is, yes, do not just have tea or coffee on an empty stomach. It will just get down your metabolism. So we generally say do not have it on an empty stomach. You should avoid it.
Thank you. So next question is from Sonia ji. I'm being quick because there are so many questions.
Yes.
So
yes.
Sonia ji is asking, I know this is for kids, but I have a question for 70-year-old mom. So grandmothers and grandparents can also ask questions. You are most welcome. Is there any issue for curd even when they have inflammation?
Inflammation and curd. Now the thing is, I wouldn't know exactly what form of inflammation it is because it is different forms of inflammation. Okay, so if I have to blanket tell you, switch over to buttermilk rather than giving curd. Avoid giving it in the night time. Probably you could try giving it in the morning, that is a breakfast time, mid-morning or till lunch time. Do not give it beyond that. And as a nutritionist, I need to identify what is the reason for inflammation and then decide which food needs to be completely cut out.
So thank you, Sonal ji, Avanti ji and Sonia ji for asking. I am sharing 2 numbers with you. Because few questions might need some personal attention, like Avanti ji is saying. So you can share your complete case with me. I'll share with Avanti ji, and then if need be, I can share her number with her due permission, and then you can go ahead. So I'm sharing my and Swaraj sir's number. You can send your query there. Okay. So now next question we are going. For vegetarian, daily having paneer is good or not?
Of course, you can go ahead and have paneer every day, unless it really creates some kind of a discomfort, which happens a lot of times because of paneer. Just ensure that it's not the malai paneer, okay? Because there are 2, 3 forms of paneer which are available. Malai paneer is very high in fat, generally you see that it disintegrates immediately, very soft. Then that paneer should be avoided, malai paneer. But otherwise, you can just go in for, the other form, other paneer, which is like not having very high fat percentage, and you can have it every day as a source of protein, no problem at all.
Thank you so much. Now next is from Sarika Oswal ji. Can dal and buttermilk go together? I mean, after eating rice and dal, can we have buttermilk after that?
Yes, of course. Why not? You can have it. There's no problem. It does not interfere in the absorption of anyhow, both of them. So you can go ahead and have buttermilk. In fact, you should add ascotida, that is hing, and cumin into your buttermilk so that your digestive fire gets better.
Thank you so much. So you can have it. Amruta Sonarji is asking, what are the foods for kids to reduce stress if they have it? Food to keep kids cool and focused. And second question again she is asking. So first we will go for first question. What are the foods for kids to reduce stress if they have any, and food to keep kids cool and focused?
Okay, so basically when the diet is skewed and there is high carbohydrates in the diet and in the form of simple sugars coming from sugar, that is the added sugar, generally you will see that the stress levels of the child and the stress levels of the body go up, because food, when the carbohydrate is high in the meals, there is something known as food coma. Meaning what? There is, sometimes when you eat a heavy meal, especially in the afternoon or the dinner time, you feel very sleepy or drowsy. The reason for that is, because of the high sugars that are released in the blood, because of the high carbohydrate that is present in the meal. So when that happens also with the children, or when they are having too much of heavy, sweet, high fat food suddenly in a larger quantity, that is also when they start, experiencing the stress and drowsiness and sleepiness. So having high fruits and vegetables in the diet, keeping the protein on the higher side, including nuts and seeds, and keeping carbohydrates a little lower than what they normally have, will help them to reduce the body stress.
Thank you. And we go for second question. Also, Pediasure is good if we give baby 2 spoons in the morning for a cup of milk.
No, avoid it. There is no need to add any kind of you can make a homemade protein powder. In fact, that recipe is there on my YouTube. Just go ahead and watch that recipe. You can make a homemade protein powder, which is with your sattu. You can even make it with makhanas, nuts, seeds, and store it. And just keep on giving it to your child. There's no need to add Pediasure.
Great. Thank you so much. Now, Sheetal ji is asking, is green tea good for children?
Green tea good for children? Generally, I'm not giving any child green tea because I don't know whether they'll really like having the taste of it. But if they like the taste, you need to try it out, because in some children in some adults also I've seen that it increases the body heat. So if that is happening, then you could avoid it.
So how will they come to know that body heat is increasing?
They start getting boils or zeet, or they start getting muh mein chale, blisters in the mouth. That is an indication that the green tea is not suiting them.
So any of these indications, then stop it.
Yeah.
So I think Sheetal ji, it answers your question. Quickly, we are going to Naomi ji's question. Oh, okay. So she is saying, thank you so much. Sarika ji is saying, how much water should be given to the child?
Very important.
Yeah, very important. So the thing is, it is going to actually vary from one child to the other. What as a parent you need to understand is, somewhere I would say between 1.5 to 2.5, depending upon, now the age of children varies, right? It could be small children, which is like 5 to 6 years, to teens. That is also children only, right? So very small children, probably 1.5 liters, and if you move on to teens, probably it would be somewhere up to 2.5 liters. What you need to just understand is the bowels are clear. There is no constipation in the child. The child's skin is not dry. That is also an indication that the water is enough or not. The urine, it should be colorless. It should not be dark yellow in color. And if they are experiencing tiredness and fatigue, it could be also because of dehydration. So that could be an indicator that giving water could make a difference. So these are certain signs that you need to relate to see whether your child is well hydrated.
Mama,
Thank
my
you so
query
much
is
for-
regarding. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you
Yes.
are audible. Can you please put your video also on, Amrita ji?
Yes, ma'am, sure. Actually, sorry, I'm outside, so I could not switch on my video. But one question related to this, like we say that we should not drink water before and after half of our meal. So, is it also applicable to kids? Because I saw that my kid always drink water when she eat. So I always tell her, don't eat water, but they cannot control it. So how much
No.
it affect on their means constipation or something like that?
Yeah. So the thing is, see, we don't say that totally don't have water before and after. It's very difficult. Even for us, it's difficult. How do we expect the children to follow that? But having sips of water is different, and having gulping down, 2-3 glasses of water in between the meal is not recommended. So, if a child is, taking 1 cup of water and having it from the beginning till the end, throughout the meal, it's okay. Should not be a problem. You cannot dilute the digestive enzymes and the juices too much. That's why we say do not do not consume a lot of water before and after. But having sips of water is pretty much okay. You can go ahead with that.
Thank you, Amrita ji. Thank you so much for asking. And how much water, as per the age, is recommended? We have created one video that will be released soon this week only. So you can watch that video as well on this YouTube channel of Fresh Minds. And we are going for Simi Biju ji's question. What is your view on taking multivitamin supplements?
Okay. So the thing is, if you should not be randomly giving multivitamin, that's not how a multivitamin should be given. It should come with your doctor's recommendation, or better, even better is doing a blood work even for children, and then based upon that you give a multivitamin. But if you're feeling, that the child is showing signs of not eating food at all, losing a lot of weight, or feeling tired and exhausted in the day, then it could be indicating some kind of a nutrient deficiencies. Get it checked, speak to your doctor first, get the necessary tests done, and then have the multivitamin. You need not just simply start giving multivitamin unless it's not much required for children, unless it is given with doctor's prescription.
Thank you, Avanti ji. And again, one question is there by Sonia ji. Can you repeat the book name? So Sonia ji, what I request you to please join the parents group, and there I am going to share Amazon link as well, along with the book's name and Avanti ji's YouTube channel, so that you will have all the information there. Because she has already written the name, I think, once or twice.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
The art of learn the art of eating smart, right?
Learn the art to eat smart. And Surbhi ji, this book can be directly ordered from us also. You can, give them our contact numbers. We can directly provide them. It will be, a little on a discount better than, taking it from Amazon.
Now you have offer also. So, okay. So I'll share with you Avanti ji's number as well.
Yes,
So
that's going to be better.
Yes. Thank you so much, Avanti ji, for being, so supportive for our parents and offering discount also. Nidhi ji's question is, in Pitta dosha, fermented things like dosa and idli is good or not?
Pitta dosha and children, are you talking about? I don't know what but I'll generally answer this question.
You can ask her, Avanti ji. Nidhi ji, what is your question exactly? If you can put your video on and share. So by the time she is joining,
it's for adults, ma'am.
Adults, okay. So basically, a lot of times Pitta dosha happens when you're consuming less water in the diet. So, make sure that you're having enough of water in the diet. Apart from that, freshly fermented foods generally do not cause a problem. But if the foods have been fermented, kept for a longer time, even for that matter curd, okay? So if it's a freshly made curd, go ahead and consume that. But a lot of times when it is kept for a longer time, then it causes this problem. Having said that, if it is a severe pitta dosha, then yes, we do recommend that you avoid having foods that will, further aggravate this problem. So avoid curd or, fermented foods for a limited period of time till you don't see that your problem is cured, and then you can start having it. But if it is consistently happening over and over again, then probably you have an intolerance to that, and then remove it completely out of the diet.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And is there any other food that is good for Pitta dosha?
Sorry?
Is there any other food that is good for Pitta dosha? Prevent them.
Okay. So generally, for Pitta dosha, what you have to consume is for Pitta dosha, a little bit of, food on the sweetish side helps. Like, not consuming sweet, but, probably having jaggery foods which are, sweetened with jaggery, or making it a point to just have a little bit of, these sweet foods for, like, a kheer or something for the breakfast time. That helps to reduce a lot of this Pitta dosha. And also, sweetened food is very important also when you're having Pitta dosha. So avoid a little bit of, raw food that could also just increase your Pitta.
And water is the best recipe, no, for it. Just keep having
Water is the best. Water is the best for
Best and
Pitta
best.
dosha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can include these. And she also recommended buttermilk. No? So buttermilk, water, all these liquids.
Yeah, buttermilk for Pitta, just be careful. Just speak, if it's getting too triggered, then, for the time being you avoid. But, something like a ragi porridge, or, something like a makhana porridge, these work wonders, especially for the breakfast time. Your Pitta dosha goes down a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Avanti.
Yeah.
Amita ji is asking protein ideas for vegetarian kids, please, if you can give some.
Okay. So proteins are present. Let's understand the food sources of protein. It is present in the sprouts, dals that you consume. Like even urad dal will have protein. It is present in nuts and seeds. And in non-veg, it is present in milk and milk products, and it is also present in the non-vegetarian foods. Apart from that, even the roti, rice, millets that you consume is having protein, but in the lower proportion. Even certain vegetables like, your green peas, bhindi, that is the lady's finger, spinach, these also have got protein. We underestimate that, we feel like only if you consume protein, you get enough of protein. But no, these vegetables are also capable of giving you protein. So you should not be ignoring those sources also. So, like you can have dals, you can even have like, sprouts, like, dal chilas can be made. You can include sprouts, cutlets, or, making sprouts, sabzi, or you can even have buttermilk, curd, things made out of curd, paneer, different things made out of paneer. So different ideas can be incorporated. It's very, very easy to make up a child's protein requirement for the day. That is not a major concern. A lot of parents are worried about that and start giving protein powders, but it can be very well managed to normal food for children especially.
Thank you, Avanti ji. Thank you so much. And we have 10 more questions.
Oh my
First
God.
is by Sarika ji. Can jaggery be used to sweeten milk or milk products?
Now it is a little, so yes, if you're making something like a kheer and all, yeah, but so organic jaggery as such, but the ones which is like the processed jaggery, that generally, could just curdle the milk at times. Otherwise, you can use jaggery, or even nowadays you get coconut sugar, that also can be used.
Thank you. Now Sonia ji is asking, will recording of this Zoom meeting be shared? Yes, Sonia ji, that's why I requested you to just subscribe to YouTube channel, because it will be uploaded on Monday. The recording will be uploaded on Monday, and we also will be sharing with you. So yes, so you please subscribe to YouTube channel for earlier webinars also. And this webinar will also be available, and whenever Avanti ji would be sharing something, and you can get it from us. So please join our WhatsApp group as well. Thank you so much. Neetu ji is asking, can we give homeopathic omega-3 supplement?
I'm not aware of that actually, so I wouldn't know. All I know is that even if there are up to an extent of flaxseed oil in the market. but I'm not very sure whether there are omega-3 homeopathy supplements. I wouldn't be an expert on that.
So maybe you can write that question on the parents group, Nituji, and I can check with my homeopathic doctors. You know, we have a network
Yes.
of doctors. I can check with homeopathy doctors and give you the right reply to it. Okay, so please write that question in the parents group that you would be joining. Now we will take it quickly. Shailesh ji is asking, can you please again elaborate about the product? So which product, Shailesh ji? The product that Avanti ji has launched, which is available pan India. You talking
Yes.
about that?
Yes. That product only, because I missed in between.
Okay. So Avanti ji, can you
The
please
product you
share
were
your
saying, no,
list
with-
of products and all so that I can share with everyone?
Yeah. I will just share it separately so that I will just fetch that all the links and I'll give it. And in fact, as I told you, they can look for it on Amazon, and I will also give you the information regarding that. And whenever they want to order, they can order directly with us also, no problem. And on Amazon, both is an opportunity. From both they can buy it. But all the products are very good. I mean, I have only formulated, and we are seeing. Yeah.
I keep using it, so that's why I
Yes.
know very well how healthy.
Yeah.
Now I'm using it. It's
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So Dal Chila is a star product, sells very well.
Please
So we
share
will
the
share
details
links
on
with
WhatsApp
you.
group.
Yes. Please join the WhatsApp group and we will share about it. Okay.
Thank you.
So,
We will stick to our time, right?
yes, so time is up, but we have more questions. So what I request over here, whatever questions are remaining, if you all can please write to us in the WhatsApp group of parents. I will share those questions with Avanti ji, and whenever Avanti ji gets time, she can answer those questions, maybe audio recording, or maybe she would have her YouTube links she can share with us. Okay. Or she can find the way to answer your queries, and then we can take it up. Is that okay?
Absolutely okay.
So thank you so much for joining, Avanti ji, and I'm glad that we could, this Brighter Minds could host you, so every parent would be, helped, because this is something which is important for cognitive abilities, for brain,
Yes.
for mind. And
Yes.
Brighter
Yes.
Minds is dedicated and committed for this, working on brain and mind and cognitive health on not only children but teens, adults, youth, everyone, elderly people.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
So
All the
I
best.
also thank all the lovely people, all the parents, grandparents over here who have joined, and they have given their time to us. Thank you so much for your love and support, because of which we all are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.